Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. The passage is from Bhagat Tanaji, which was interspersed. His compositions were interspersed by one from Malla Panjwa, the previous one. In this passage, the idea that runs through this sabad that we are about to consider, it embodies the idea that the cosmos or the universe that we live in is alive, it's conscious, it's intelligent, and that it inherently supports and sustains all forms of life. Let's see how Tanaji explains that to us. He begins, of course, first by urging us to become more reflective, to become more contemplative, more meditative about life, not to just go around like robots rushing about. Tat, as we know, the orientation. Because in contemplative awareness, we get breakthroughs, we understand our relationship to the universe, and it leaves us in a state of amazement. So we have to slow down a bit. So Bhagatji says, Re Chit Chetas Kina. Re Chit Chetas Kina. Why have you cut off or forgotten? Dayal Damodara, the compassionate Damodara. Damodar is one of the many names for Krishna, the child Krishna in this case, because the word itself is a compound from Dam and Udara, which means a rope and a stomach. And legend has it that Krishna, as a child, was difficult to control, and his mother would often tie him with a rope around his stomach to a stone so that she could attend to her household chores. This is symbolism. The symbolism here is that the universe contains the world within its stomach. The world is inherently a part of this creative force that we call Ekonkar. So Tanaji says to us, Re Chita Chetas Kina, why are you not contemplative, or why have you forgotten? Then he assures us, Damodar is of course limitless. Jo tha veh brahmand khand ko. So this Damodar is the cause, is the material and efficient cause of the universe. Je tave brahmand khand ko, karta kare so hoy. It's the karta. It is the material cause. It is the doer. Kare so hoy. And its law, its writ, governs everything and prevails everywhere. So the first thing that Bhagat Tanaji has done in his sabad is to urge us to become more inquisitive, to become more contemplative, curious about life, because what he's telling us is that it is a fascinating universe. Now he gives us illustrations of how this universe is nourishing and sustaining. Janani kare udar udak meh pind kiya das dwara de ahar agan meh rakhe aisa khasam hamara. Such is the master, khasam, husband, the master, This is symbolic, okay? The master, the owner. Such is our owner. Such is this world. Such is this universe. ऐसा खसम हमारा दे आहार. It nourishes. अगन में राखे. It protects us from the fire. One might ask, which fire? He's talking about the fire of the womb, because he's talking about the birth of the body. He says, it protects us, it nourishes us, even as the body, with its 10 senses and faculties, is being formed. Janani kare udar udak meh pind kiya das dwara, is being formed in the watery stomach of the mother. Now you see, the environment within the mother's anatomy is quite hostile to the newborn. So it has this protective, watery protection. The embryonic fluid, I believe it's called, but there is this fluid protection. It's poison otherwise. And the womb is symbolized as a furnace, so it's fire. So even within that anatomy, the unborn is being protected quite naturally, because the mother is not really doing anything consciously. It just goes about nourishing herself and doing her thing, and the child is forming. So the creative intelligence of the universe is nurturing. Then he gives us another example, that of a female tortoise. Kumi jal mahe tan tis bahir, pankh kheer tin nahi, puran paramanand manohar, samaj dekh man mahi. So he's saying, Kumi, the tortoise, the female tortoise, lays its eggs on land and then it returns to the water. Kumi jalamahi. The eggs, now this is true of certain species of the tortoise, the eggs hatch outside the water. The mother tortoise does not send them nourishment directly. It cannot. But the Naji says, Purana Paramananda Manohar, that ancient one, meaning this creative force that is blissful, that is hypnotic, nourishes the hatched eggs until they return to the water. So Dhannaji says to us, observe this, look at what's going on, and be carried away into that bliss. Manohar, become mesmerized by the universe. Live in a state of wonder, of awe, vismadhi. That is where creativity is. That is the way to be creative. So here, the idea is that even with limited faculties, the universe fills the gaps. The mother tortoise, even though it's physically distant, even though the creator might appear physically, is not physical, it maintains an inherent connection with us. There is this invisible bond between this Puran Paramanand Manohar and us. There is an organic connection between the Paramananda and us. And the last example that he offers is that of a creature, a worm, that stays hidden in the stone. He says, Pakhan keet gupt hoye rehta. Pakhan keet gupt hoye rehta. Pakhan is stone. Keet is a creature, a worm. Gupt is hidden. Hoye rehta. It stays there hidden in the stone. Tacho marg nahi. It does not know the way out. Dhanna says, Puranatahu ko mat re. That ancient one, that transcendent one gives it the sense, the mat, the understanding to come out. So he says to us, what are you afraid of? Divine guidance is within you. Tap into it. You're ignorant as you stand, but you can tap into divine guidance. So Tanaji is telling us that the universe is a single interconnected reality. This is quite similar to the Gaia hypothesis, the idea, the notion that the universe, the earth specifically, functions as a self-regulatory system. It's like a living organism. Everything is dependent. And this is something that we have to understand, realize, contemplate. There is a common thread. This thread runs across virtually all spiritual traditions. So what it is encouraging us to do is to establish a sense of trust, interconnectedness. That is how we foster not only our own spiritual growth and well-being, but that of others. Because we recognize the same intelligence in others, you find a deeper meaning, you find a deeper purpose, which brings harmony into your lives. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.